Welcome, welcome. Today is our first meeting in our hands-on healing for organ systems course. And my goal for this class is to help give people a personal experience of feeling energy, moving it around, and kind of try to demystify doing healing work. There's a lot of different traditions for hands-on healing, and some of them can be so mysterious that it's hard to feel relatable. And I try to make Qigong healing really nuts and bolts, bring it down to very basic kinds of sensations that we can learn to trust and get comfortable with, okay? Before I launch into the techniques, what I want to do is talk briefly about what healing means and how that relates to Qigong. So Qigong means energy cultivation. The goal of all Qigong is to increase energy circulation inside of us and also increase our awareness of that energy flow, okay? Most people around the world learn Qigong exercises, which are movements where when we move and we connect the breathing with it, it increases qi flow, and then you learn to spot it, so to speak. You learn to feel it. So Qigong exercises are by far the most common ways that people learn to tune in to that energy flow. Qi healing, there are not that many courses offered that are that accessible to find it, but it's the same energy that we're paying attention to with the same goal in mind: improve circulation in the body, and you will feel better. Okay, so when we talk about hands-on healing, specifically, we're talking about increasing that energy circulation to improve our health and well-being. And there's tools we will learn in this class that are really simple and powerful for accomplishing those goals. We're going to learn how to scan for blockages, which are energy congestion in the body. It's not bad energy. I don't personally believe there's anything bad that can be in your qi. It can be tangled up, okay? Like, is yarn really being bad when it gets tangled up? It's not bad yarn anymore. If you could untangle it, it's still pretty good yarn. You might think the yarn is being naughty for getting tangled, but you can untangle it and it's still good, okay? So we will be learning scanning to feel where the qi is kind of tangled up. Those sensations are generally slightly different from person to person, though there's commonalities, and my job here is to help you decipher your signals. Your job is not to try to fit into a standardized signal system. Your job is to pay attention to what you're noticing, and I'm there to help saying, yeah, that kind of feeling is the energy, okay? So that you can start to link up the vocabulary, okay? And that's what the scanning is. And then combing is a way to move that stuck energy inside of us. We talked about qi circulation as being the most important thing for health and well-being, so that combing increases the circulation through that clogged up area. And then we learn how to send energy into a spot and be able to tell when that spot fills up. And we send energy in for different reasons, and we're going to fill in the blanks on that. But everybody can learn how to do scanning. Everybody can learn how to comb out blockages. Everybody can learn how to send energy. It's just practicing those techniques, okay? Just like threading a needle can be tricky, but if you've done it a bunch, it's like, you know, it'll be okay in the end. You know you're going to get it, even if it's fussy. You know you'll get there, okay? We want to have that same open attitude with the Qi healers techniques, that all of them work. Your hand is not broken if you can't feel something right away. Nothing's abnormal. It's about learning how to notice what those sensations are. Okay, and that's really, I think, my most significant job here in our course is to help you understand the signals. Okay, the techniques, once you learn them, you say, oh, that's pretty straightforward. They're not kind of mysterious. They're pretty straightforward. It's just learning to decipher the signals. Okay, so those are important healers techniques that we're going to learn. There's a lot of other healers techniques that are important when you're doing healing work on yourself or others, but you probably know them already. These other important healers techniques include listening. You got to be a good listener, even if it's to yourself, right? Like, how many times you have a thought in your head and some other, bless you, you have a thought in your head and some other thought says, pipe down to that first thought, tells it to be quiet, right? And we need to be a listener, even if it's a discussion in our head, our internal committee. We need to be a good listener. We need to have compassion, non-judgment. That is so significant for doing healing work. Non-judgment is so very significant. When we have judgment for ourselves or other people, we inhibit the healing process. And the judgment can be kind of sneaky on its way in, okay? The judgment can be, oh, my hip's bugging me again. And you swear in your head, like you're mad at your hip, right? That's judgment. That's like your hip's being naughty. And it's doing it to make you angry or make you sad or disappointed in yourself or reinforce a negative thought pattern. So it's so important that even if we have something that feels really uncomfortable, we try our best to say welcoming hellos to it, like it was a good friend of ours who had a problem, right? Your best friend came and said, you know, oh, my hip's bugging me. Your first thought would be, what happened? What's going on? What's it feel like? You just be curious, right? You be curious. And that's how I want us to feel when we're trying to help ourselves or someone else, is that curious, open-ended, non-judgmental, compassionate self. That's an important skill, and we all have it. I know we do. We all have it. We just need to really use it when it comes to our healing journey. We have to use it, okay? So there's these other important healing techniques that we already know about, okay? Being a good facilitator, instructing, right? Instructing. You're trying to help somebody, even just explaining what you feel can be helpful. Just explaining that. If you know Qigong exercises, then finding a good exercise for them to learn and teaching it to them is incredibly instrumental in changing patterns. Doing those set movements reinforces the proper energy patterns. So all of that is important for long-term resolution of a health problem. Long-term resolution of a health problem includes the hands-on healing work is a great intervention that gives you a good bump in the right direction. But then aligning our lifestyle with those same goals is key. All right, it's key. And so that means, are we moving enough? Are we eating foods that are healthy? Are we working on peace of mind? So that's the lifestyle. Our lifestyle affects our health picture 70%, our interventions 30%. Lifestyle 70, interventions 30. If they're pointing in the same direction, we'll get healthy quickly. If they're in opposite directions, lifestyle is going to pull ahead every time. It's going to pull ahead. Okay. Good, good, good. All right. So let's talk about some of our healing techniques. All right. We're going to start with combing. I'm going to describe it a little bit, and then we're going to try it on ourselves or a partner. Okay. there's some basic ideas with scanning that help us to get a clear picture of what's going on. We're just paying attention to anything we notice. That's first of all, okay? Anything you notice. Generally, most people will feel something like something feels a little warm or a little cool, a little sticky, or like a little vibration, or sometimes it's an intuitive feeling like, I think something's there. I keep being drawn to it. That might be an intuitive way that somebody experiences it. Some people get visuals. Other people get like a clear auditory kind of message, like, I need to work on this place on this person. There's not one right way to do it, and that's fine. In general, over time, you will get a variety of signals. Whatever your signal is today, that will probably stay, but a lot more will populate your palette, okay? Especially as you bring your attention to the moment, okay? When I first learned how to scan, I could only feel like if something was hot. I couldn't feel cold, I couldn't feel textures. But over time, I noticed, oh, I'm feeling other stuff. I wonder what it means. And I just kind of hold that in space. Carol, did you have a question? I see your microphone's on.
Oh, sorry.
It's all right. So we always stay open. Whatever your signals are to start with, great. If you can't find signals, say, Lisa, can you come over here? What's going on? Okay. And then I might do a quick scan for you and say, look over here. What do you notice? All right. The most important thing with scanning is that we don't want to discourage what we're experiencing. Okay. We don't want to discourage what we're experiencing. If you are scanning and you think, I don't feel anything, just take a breath. All right. That's an old tape. That's just an old tape. You don't feel what you feel. Right? Lots of people tell you, you don't feel what you're actually feeling. Stop crying, you're not sad. You have no right to be angry. You know, people have told us so much. So no surprise if there's a voice saying, I'm not feeling anything. You say, take a breath and say, well, can I feel my feet on the floor? Sure. So you're feeling that. Do you feel a breeze in the room? Okay, do you feel pulsing, heartbeat? Say, I see I'm feeling lots of things. There might be something I'm feeling that I haven't equated to energy yet. So if you think you don't feel anything, just take a breath and say, I'm feeling something, I just don't know what it is yet, right? And if you feel a little something, say, I feel a little something. Say it like that in your mind, okay? I feel a little something. Not like, oh, I only feel a little something. The only message we need to start is a little something, okay? And I have techniques to help people if you don't feel stuff. Just don't assume you're going to be somebody who doesn't feel stuff. I have techniques to help people bridge that awareness gap. It's just an awareness gap, okay? That's all. Good. All right. So with scanning, basic principles, how close your hand is to your body depends on you. If you're not feeling much, come in closer. If you're feeling too much, like your whole hand feels like it's wearing a hot mitten or it gets tingly, go further out. So if you're not feeling much, come closer, and if you're feeling too much, go further out. When you're scanning, keep your hand moving. If you hold still, your hand's going to heat up. Because of the intensity of that pause, you will likely send energy to your scanning hand, and it's going to get hotter or more tingly because of that extra energy is building. So keep it moving. Okay, keep a scanning hand on the move. How far depends on, if you're not feeling much, come closer in. If your whole hand feels like it's a hot, tingly mitten, go further out and speed up. Come in closer, slow down if you're not feeling much, further out, speed up if your hand is overwhelmed. Okay. I like to compare both sides of the body because that's often when you say, oh, this side feels different than that side. So those are ways that we can try to bridge that awareness gap by checking both sides. Say, oh, I think a little something feels different one side or the other. Okay. And we always want to scan in a direction away from the head because sometimes we kind of shove the chi a little bit in the direction we're scanning. And if we shove it down towards the feet, it's relaxing, it's grounding. If we inadvertently shove it towards the head, it creates like pressure, the mind gets affected, uncomfortable. So I'm going to give you an example. I keep my hand moving, I go side to side, and I go slowly away from my head. And if I say, oh, I think I felt a little something in a positive voice, I come out to the side and I want to check it again. I come back in. I don't scan towards the head. I scan away from the head. I come out to the side. I'm like, I want to redo that area. Okay, I want to redo that area. Come out to the side, come back in again. When you're scanning the back of your body, get your hand as close as it feels comfortable and just imagine that it's, close enough to feel something, okay? When you're scanning yourself, you may feel it with the scanning hand. If you're scanning somebody else, you will feel it with your hand, of course. But if you're scanning yourself, you might feel it with a body part. So if you had a lot of sinus pressure going on, you scanned over your sinuses, you might feel something on your hand, like a little pressure pushing the hand away, or tingling, or warmth, or something. Or you might feel like something pushed in on your face. Both of those signals are coming to your brain simultaneously, and it's kind of confusing. So take it as a signal, whether you feel it with your hand or the body part you're scanning. Okay, if it's somebody else, you'll just feel it with your hand. Okay, all right. There's an opening that I like to do with people before they do scanning, which just helps you get in the mood, right? And basically, we're going to just have the palms facing each other. And we inhale, pull the hands apart. Exhale, back together. Inhale apart. Exhale. Just do it a few times to relax the neck and shoulders. You're creating a nice energy flow. Peaceful, comfortable. You might feel like a stretchy feeling between your palms, like taffy. If you let the hands come closer, you might feel like the air is a little thick between the hands. If you circle one hand, you might feel it tingling on the other hand. And I like to have some phrases that are comforting when I'm doing the opening. Something like, my energy is big and strong, and I'm safe and protected. So if that sounds good to you, you can use those same words. If you have prayers you say, other energy thoughts that come to your mind, but something like, my energy is big and strong, and I'm safe and protected. Something like that. You can use that as a blueprint until you feel relaxed and comfortable. Okay, so that'll be our opening. Okay, so there are people here who want to do partnering, and some people who are in the room who want to do it by themselves. If you want to partner with somebody and you haven't already arranged a partner in the room, you don't have a partner yet, can you raise your hand if somebody wants to do partnering and they don't already have a partner? Anyone willing to jump in with Tamara? Anyone willing to? Pam jumped in. All right. So you guys, partner up there, and we're gonna do our opening. Now, if you're partnering with somebody home, of course, you do the same opening, and then I'll show the scanning on myself, okay? And then I may go around the room and show what some other people are doing. If you guys wouldn't mind when you do the partnering to come there, so I can come over and show people, stuff when partnering. So if partnering can happen in front rows too, okay? It doesn't all have to happen in front rows. Some can happen in the back rows. I just don't want to get off screen too much, okay? All right, so you guys can, whoever's going to do the healing first, you can turn your chairs towards each other. You just have to decide who's going to receive and who's going to give. And the person who's going to give the healing, or if you're going to do it on yourself, we're going to do our opening. And people in the room, you can speak to your partner, but try to keep it in a whisper so that everybody can have a relaxed experience, okay?
Does everybody do the opening?
Now, just the person who's going to be doing the scanning. So if it's on yourself, you do it. So were you guys partnering? So whoever's gonna do the healing does the opening. So whispering to each other, Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good, right there. It's perfect. Perfect. That way I can go around, and if somebody's got a question, just call me over, okay? All right. So palms facing each other, whoever's going to perform the healing. Relax the neck and shoulders. Inhale, hands separate. Exhale. My energy is big and strong, and I'm safe and protected. And you do that till you feel ready. Energy is big and strong, safe and protected. And then when you feel like you're in a good space, feel like you're in a good groove, right? You can begin the scanning. So when I scan myself, I like to check the top of the head. So if you're working on your partner, you can check the top of their head, and you can do it from the chair if you want to. So if I was sitting in the chair, you don't have to be like right there. I can just imagine my hands on top of her head and coming down. If you feel comfortable, you could stand up, move around, whatever you feel like doing, okay? So scanning myself, I start with the top of the head. And if you don't feel much, come in closer, slow down, and compare left and right sides. And don't think too hard. Just plan on scanning a bunch of times. If you're not sure you're feeling something, what it is, just say, I'll circle back to that. And make sure you check all the way to the feet. And when you want to come back up the body, come out to the side and back up. And at any time you feel like you've lost your focus, you can come back to the opening. Energy, big and strong, safe and protected. Whenever you feel like you've lost focus, you can come back. Remember what you're looking for. Anything. You say, do I feel hot spots, cold spots, tingling spots? Vibration? Do I get images? Are there words showing up in your head? Visuals showing up in your head? And don't discourage that. Just put a question mark there. I see this or I feel this. What does it mean? And if I want to scan and you do want to check the back, okay? A lot of people have stuff around the back of the neck, the shoulders. So it's important to check there. You might notice stuff. So that's as close as I need to get to check my back. And I don't need to bend down to check my back of my legs. I can just think my hand is longer. Many people have a dominant hand and you'll feel like scanning with that. Eventually you'll be able to scan with both hands. Heather, can I just have you go that way a little bit? That's all right. It's good. So many people have a dominant hand. You can always scan with that, all right? If you finish scanning your partner, you can switch and have your partner scan you. And you're looking for hot spots, cool spots, tingling, maybe textures, vibrations, any of those things can show up, and you don't know what's important yet. So don't judge it. You don't know what's important yet. If you have questions, you're not sure, even my online people, I can scan you from here if you need some feedback, if you're not sure what your signals are, okay? And remember, don't scan towards the head. If you want to check the arm again, scan down the arm. You can come straight down the arm if you want to, or go side to side. Try not to scan towards the head. Does anyone have questions about what they're noticing? Yes, you can scan with 2 hands. Yep, and see what shows up then. Yep. And remember, if you're scanning yourself, you may feel something on the body part, okay? Donna has a question online. I'm dealing with shoulder impingement, and when I scan the side of the neck on the impaired shoulder side, I feel pins and needle sensations at the base of the neck. So that is letting you know where it's the most stuck, where you feel those pins and needles, okay? It's letting you know, yeah, it's jammed up. The stronger the sensation is, the more likely it is you're moving the energy into that area, and then it's so stuck it cannot escape. So it's like blowing up a balloon. The pressure is increasing. So once you scan an area and you feel like a strong sensation, you just say, I get it, something's there. You don't need to keep scanning. If the sensation just keeps escalating, you know, you're just slightly putting a little chi in there and the sensations are going up. Okay. Judy is saying she noticed some heat in the lungs. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to start combing in a little bit, but yes, you would comb there. Okay. So Judy is saying she feels some heat in the lungs. Now, there's a few places that do have a natural feeling to them when they're healthy and balanced, okay? There's a few places that, thank you, have a sensation. The lungs, healthy, normal lungs should feel slightly warm or tingly. So Judy is saying heat in the lungs, and I trust that word, okay? She didn't say the lungs are warm. She said heat, and I would trust the word. It's probably more than you want in there. So the lungs should, in a healthy state, be slightly, just so ever slightly warm, tingly. The heart, right in the center, pleasantly warm. That's where your spirit, your Shen resides, pleasantly warm. Okay? The lights are on somebody's home. That's the feeling in the heart. Okay? Now you're like, what the heck does that mean? Pleasantly warm? That sounds tricky. You don't need to know yet, all right? You don't need to know yet. How are we going to really know? We will comb through it, okay, and see if it changes. Comb through, see if it changes. When things change, then we'll know, okay? And when you comb through and then add some energy in, usually it feels more correct when you're done. So if you're like, I feel a little something in the lungs, I'm going to comb them out, put some energy and check again, say, oh, I see it's different, and now it feels like I'm heading in the right direction. The kidneys on the lower back should feel slightly cool, like a glass of room temperature water feels slightly cool to your mouth. Not cold, not like out of the fridge, but just like room temperature water. When it hits your mouth, you say it's a little bit cool, because the kidneys are the water element. Slightly cool, okay? All right. Any other questions about the scanning? Anybody? All right. If somebody is like, I really wish I could say something, but I don't feel like it's okay to say something, we're going to work on that. Okay, I hope everyone feels like they could say something. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Now we're going to try the combing. A lot of times it's hard to know if you feel something with a scan until you comb through it, and then it gives you another way to perceive that same area. And then when you comb and you pull something out and you scan again, you think, oh, it feels a little different. Just like it's hard to know if a window is dirty until you clean a little bit of the window. That's when you know, okay? So combing something out can really help us know what the thing is. We don't need to get all our information from scanning. Our information accumulates from scanning, combing, and sending. All of those things gives us more illumination on what's happening inside. Okay, so let's try, no questions? We're gonna try some combing next, okay? So with the combing, I want you to imagine, and we can all try this, okay? But you can try it on yourself before you get up to work on a partner. You imagine your fingers are really long energy fingers, okay? And you pass those energy fingers through your body, pass them through your body. When I get about halfway down, my hand orientation changes to keep my wrists relaxed. And if you feel like your hands have picked up something, like it's big enough, pull it out through your feet and feel it let go of the body. Feel it let go of the body, and then imagine dropping it into the earth. See it go all the way down into the earth. And it should feel like your hands feel lighter after you drop it, okay? If your hand feels heavy or sticky, like it didn't drop, don't shake harder. You don't want to shake hard, because when we shake the hands, that's a Qigong technique for increasing circulation in your hands. There's a lot of shaking techniques. Your hands will get hot and full of energy, and you won't be able to tell what's going on. It'll be your energy coming in your hands. So if it feels like it didn't let go, comb it out with the other hand. So I'm trying to drop it into the earth. It doesn't feel like it lets go. I comb it out with the other hand. Okay? Or you're combing out and your wrist starts to bug you. Maybe you were a little tense when you were combing it out. Relax the hand, comb out until that little ache goes away. Sometimes when we're tense, we're combing, the wrist can get uncomfortable. Okay? So we're going to jump in with some combing, and I'm going to talk you through it. So whoever's going to comb, you can get ready, and I'm going to talk us all through the combing. We're going to try it out together. All right. If you feel like if you lost your focus, you can do your opening again. You don't have to do it multiple times, but if you feel like my brain's a little scattered now, a lot of chit chat, then you can do your grounding. Okay. And then create the combing fingers, 1 or 2 hands, and then let those combing fingers come down through the body. And if you noticed something before, try to go through that area and try to see if you can grab something. If you feel like a little pull, then that's good. You feel like, oh, there's like a stretchy band feeling, and then bring it all the way out through the toes. If it's your shoulder, then go out through the fingers. You feel it let go of the body. It's separate from the body, and open your hand and imagine it shooting down into the earth. Don't do a big flick, because your chi will build up in your hand.
So when we're doing it on somebody else,
Yes.
Do we picture it that it's going down to our feet or down
Their
to
feet. That's a good point. So you're working on somebody else, you go out their feet. Unless it's their arm, you go out their hands. Okay? So you go down and out their feet. And you can start at the head and go down, but if you felt stuff lower, you don't have to start at the head for the combing, you can start lower. Okay, so if you felt something, where Judy said she felt some heat in the lungs, you can just start right at the lungs, send those combing fingers in, drag it down and out the foot, and you might need to comb a few times to feel like you got a hold of it. If you feel like, if you're working on yourself, you might feel like a little tickle or a pull inside. That's really common. Okay, that's really common.
How do you grab it again? You pull
Yeah,
it
so
out?
I pull it out, I feel it come out the foot, or I imagine it come out the foot, and then I feel it let go of my body, and then like it's a stone, imagine it dropping into the earth. Don't do a big flick or your own chi will build up in your hands and then it's confusing what's happening. And if it's hard to visualize, give it a color, give it a texture. And you can comb with one hand or two hands, but go straight down and out the same side of the body, okay? Don't pull it across the body and go down the opposite side, okay? Try to, anything on your right side, go out your right foot. Anything on your left side, go out your left foot. And you can do it on the back. You can comb out the back, go down the butt. Okay. Donna's asking, it doesn't feel like a block or substance in my neck. It's more amorphous, so I'm not sure how I can grasp it. All right. So sometimes the combing fingers feel like it passes right through. What I do then, okay, I imagine I'm kind of gathering it like it was fluff, okay, like it was a bunch of feathers, fluff. I imagine I'm kind of concentrating it and then get a hold of it, okay? See if you can kind of pull it together and then see if it'll come out that way. Like cat hair, that's right. Like cat hair, get it all together and then comb it out. And if you're working on somebody and your arm gets tense at all, you might feel tingling or discomfort. Relax that arm and comb it out with the other hand till it feels neutral. And then make sure both partners get a chance to feel it. I'm going to have you sit in that chair for just so that it's not too piled up in front of the camera. Thanks. So when you're ready to do healing, remember you're opening, or if you feel distracted in the middle of a healing session, you lose focus, you can come back to the opening. My energy's big and strong, and I'm safe and protected. And if you haven't tried doing stuff on your back, you can give that a try. So when I go through an area on myself that has a blockage, I feel my hand feels like it wants to slow down, like there's a stretchy band and it's like a little bit of resistance. And then if the blockage is big enough, I will feel it in that body part. Like you swallow something that's a little too big, you feel it like stretching in your throat. I feel like something is moving through. If it's a big enough blockage, you pull it out, you feel it let go of the body, you send it into the earth. If you have any questions about what you're feeling, remember, always send it into the earth. If you're combing out somebody's back, you can come out the tailbone, hip area. If you want to, if you feel like it wants to go down and out their feet, you can, but it's just as easy. They're sitting in a chair just to go straight down out the hips. Okay. Did that work, Donna? Were you able to kind of gather that feeling? Get some traction? Good, good.
Lisa,
Yes,
in terms of combing one's own back,
yes.
does it have
Yeah.
to do with the palms?
So if I was going to comb this area,
Yes.
I might, one hand or two hands, get those combing fingers in there, pull it down, out the feet into the earth. Okay. If it was up higher,
Uh-huh.
like up here, and it felt like I can't really get there. You
Uh-huh.
can actually comb through the front, but pay attention to the back, and
Okay.
you'll feel your fingers on your back. So I'm combing through the front. I'm not thinking about the front. I'm thinking about that place on the back I want to comb through. And then take it all the way down and out your own feet. So Donna's saying it's easier to draw it directly out of the neck than push it down the arms. Okay. So that brings up an important consideration. You can pull straight out of an area, but if it's difficult to lead it down the arm, it usually means something's going on in the arm.
Hmm.
Okay. So if you can't, like, oh, it doesn't want to come down the arm, I'll just pull it straight out. You're going to help this area. What is going on in the arm? If the arm is so hard to clear out, start on the hand. Say, does that feel like it's clearing out? Good. Come a little higher up. Elbow, does that feel like it's clearing out? A little higher up, and you might find what's getting in the way of it coming down the arm, okay, is something getting in the way. If by the time you get to the shoulder, then you might say, oh, it's in the shoulder. And then you've cleared the shoulder out, you get to the neck, you say, oh, now it goes nice and easy out the arm. Sometimes the neck gets in trouble because the arm's in trouble. Okay. And we don't figure that out until we learn during the hands-on healing process. We get more information about what's going on in the body. So Donna's saying she did both things. Some straight out, some down the arm, some straight out, some down the arm. When the straight out is easier than bringing it through the body, nothing bad will happen if you come straight out, but it's telling you there's a problem downstream, and that could be related. So even though it's easier, like your sink fills up with water, right? You got a clogged drain, you can empty out the sink. But does that really do you much good to just empty the sink out, bail out the sink? Now, if it's a boat, that's all you need to do, right? Bail out the boat. But if it's a sink, I got to clean the drain. Okay, even though it's way easier to empty out the sink. So we have to pay attention to those sensations. Any questions come up with the combing?
We have gates here, right?
Yes, we have gates in the palm.
It feels like my gates are flooded
When you are doing the healing work or receiving?
now, after.
After. So your body's already starting to send energy. Not necessarily a good thing, because we need to learn how to send energy the Qigong healer style. Okay, Reiki healing style, it comes out your hand from your body. Even if you bring it in, if you've done other healing arts and you're used to bringing it through your body, you will start sending. But we really want to send environmental energy. I'm going to teach you how to do that. Donna's saying it feels inflamed there, like I need to cool it down somehow. Okay. So if you feel inflammation, so Donna is experiencing some kind of visual / sensation combination, because she's using words like it feels inflamed there, like I need to cool it down somehow. So that's when your intuition is like starting to kick in. It's giving you other words, other sensations. And you say, all right, how can I do that? How can I cool that down? Does it look red? Can I take the red out? Does it need blue? Do I need to put blue in? Does it just need more pathways? Do I need to make some pathways for that inflammation to drain out? Okay. So in general, we want to open up tight spots so that energy can pass through, because that creates its own cooling system. When energy is freely flowing through something, it's like a coolant in your radiator. Okay, so more combing, see if you can create more pathways through there. Other questions about the combing? All right, so we're going to do some sending of energy. We still have a few minutes. I want to teach us a little bit of sending. Sending, there's 4 important safety things. Okay, and I'm going to say these every time. When we send energy, it needs to be environmental energy, not our own energy. And how do we make it environmental energy? I need to visualize it coming from the universe. I think of my hand like a clear magnifying glass. It's not soaking it up. What does a magnifying glass do? It collects, focuses, intensifies. So I think of my hand not as a sponge soaking it up, but it's clear. It's not affected by the chi. It's just focusing it. And it's coming in like the sun shining down on the back of your hand or a beam. If you work with healing beings, you can imagine that healing being with their hands on the top of your hands, whatever your intuition is telling you. I like the simple imagery. You know what it feels like when the sun is shining on you, you feel that warmth and it shines right through your hand. Okay, so the first safety element is the chi comes from outside of us. Even if you're working on yourself, I want you to practice that so it's automatic. Even if it's only rarely you work on somebody else, I want it automatic, that it's not your own energy, it's always outside energy. If you're not adding in that visual, it will usually be your own energy you're sending. That's the default. When we put our arm around somebody we care about, we're worried about them, our energy is just going towards them. Nothing bad will happen if it's one person once in a while, but how does everyone feel when they're around somebody a lot who is in need? You get drained, right? If it's a lot. So think ahead, get a good habit of it being outside energy. That's the first safety thing, okay? Outside energy. The second safety thing is if somebody's had any kind of heart problem, like heart surgery, heart incident, anything where the heart muscle has been damaged, don't send energy right into the front of the heart. You could send it behind the heart, okay? And we're going to learn points on the hand that you can use for the heart, okay? So just if your partner needs to know, don't send in front of the heart, you just tell your partner, don't send in front of the heart, okay? You can send behind the heart, all right? That's the second safety thing. The third safety thing is you need to know when the area fills up. Just like watering a house plant, what happens if you overwater it? It spills out onto the floor. We want to know when it's full. So when you're sending energy, you have to notice, what does it feel like when you're sending? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What do you notice? And then as soon as that changes, that's your signal to stop. Just like you're putting gas in a gas tank, right? You know, how do you know it's going in? You feel like a little vibration, you hear something, you know, the gas is going in. So what's our signal when it's going in? Think, oh, it feels a little warm, or I feel peaceful, or I kind of just see it. I just kind of see it. You say, that's my signal, it's going in. Like I can hear it. I feel a vibration with the gas tank. With the gas tank, how do you know when it's full? It clicks, it shuts off, right? But prior to that, do you hear something change? You can hear the sound changes, right? So there's lots of signals that is, oh, I think it's filling up. I think it's filling up. Click, it's done. When your signal of it going in starts to change, then you know, I think it's filling up. Thing is filling up, it's full. So if it feels hot when it's going in, that heat might go away. It doesn't mean you're not sending in anywhere. It's telling you to stop. Okay? Sometimes it feels like your hand gets pushed away. Sometimes suddenly you'll see a new color. You saw one color, now you see a new color. It's fun. You don't know what you're going to find, okay? It's fun. Your job is, what does it feel like as I have the intent to go in, so I know when to stop. When that changes, then you stop. The final safety thing is, when you're sending in to yourself or someone else, if they start feeling uncomfortable, then you stop and you comb out wherever you feel the discomfort. I may have worked on this long and it feels nice and open. Now I'm going to send chi in. It's like glug, glug, glug. It's going in. Oh, it feels so good. And then suddenly my hip starts to hurt. You're like, what happened? The chi was going in, but then it started spreading out. And I didn't quite open up my hip enough like an hourglass shape. It can't get through. There's some blockage in there. I thought I got it, but I didn't. Whatever. So I stop and I comb that out. Okay. And then I go back to what I was doing. If it hurts again, you say, this just needs more work. It just needs more work. That helps really give you a lot more information about yourself, right? You think, oh, my problem was up here. It's like, what's going on down here? If there's problems somewhere that you don't feel pain, it doesn't mean you should ignore it, right? It means it's probably affecting you in some way that you're unaware of, okay? All right, so I'm going to have you, whoever's going to do the sending first, you can send in to your partner. I'm going to show it on myself. All right, so get ready and I'll talk us through it all at the same time. Okay, so if you feel, because of all the chit chat, you lost focus, you can do your opening again. Energy is big, strong, safe, and protected. You do not usually have to do multiple repeats on the opening. It's just the start and stop of the classroom setting. Okay, and as soon as you feel ready, then you can try out the sending. And usually with sending, I touch the body so that my arm is relaxed. So if I was working on somebody, I just gently, I don't lean on them. I just barely touch, just so that my arm relaxes and they know where I am. And I got my hand on Lori's shoulder and she's thinking, oh, that feels nice. She relaxes. Okay. If it's somewhere you're not supposed to touch, hold the hand above. Okay. If your arm gets tired holding it above somebody, you can rest it on their body, directing it towards there. Okay. So if I want to send towards her breast, I could rest it on her shoulder, but I'm thinking about the breast. Okay. You need to be relaxed. If your arms are hovering all the time, you're going to get tension and it's going to be tough. So as soon as you're ready to send, you can gently touch. Okay. Imagine that sun shining down on the back of your hand. Your hand is like a magnifying glass, sending it in. Imagine it going into the place where you're sending it and say, what does it feel like? Oh, it feels nice or warm. Feel peaceful. And as soon as that starts to change, then I stop. For me, what happened just then, it went from feeling like, oh, it's so great to like suddenly really tingly. I thought maybe it's too full. It's okay to stop too soon. It's better than overfilling an area, okay? And if that went well, try it a couple more spots, okay? And before you trade with your partner, if you're working on a partner, try scanning again, or you can comb to see if that stuff is still there too. Sometimes if you know you're combing an area out, you say, how's it feel now? Okay. You're working on yourself after you send in to a few places, you can scan again, say, what do I notice? You can comb through to see if you grab something. And now that you've been working on yourself for a little bit after you send in, just see how those lungs feel. Slightly warmer, tingly is the optimal. You're still going to be working on learning what that feels like, okay? The heart pleasantly warm. The kidneys slightly cool, like room temperature water feels slightly cool. You say, does it feel a little better? Feel a little more open? If you have a question, just let me know. And you can send in anywhere just a reminder, if you've had any kind of heart incident, don't send into the front of the heart. You will be learning points on the hand to help the heart. You can send behind the heart without any trouble. So if I want to send in, I gently touch. I picture like the sun shining, my hand like a magnifying glass. It is not soaking up the chi, it's just collecting it. I say, what does it feel like as it's going in? So this time I feel like a tingly sensation. Not so much the warmth, more like a tingle vibration. And then this time I got a very vague general feeling like it's enough. It was very vague general, like a rolling stop, not a sudden kind of thing. I never know what I'm going to feel. You just kind of listen to all your signals. You listen to all your signals. If anyone has questions, let me know. If I missed your question, if you type one in and I didn't respond to it and maybe scrolled out of my way too soon, please type it in again. I'm sorry if I miss one. I only have a little bit of real estate on the screen for the chat, and sometimes a couple come in at the same time and it rolls out of sight. And you can send with two hands, but they might each get a signal at a different time. So you have to pay attention to both hands. If you use two hands, one hand may finish sending before the other one does. It's if you can unmute and ask the question out loud, then I don't need to worry about them scrolling by. Okay, so that's always fine. If you want to turn on, if you people prefer to write it, go ahead. But if it's complicated, then speak up. That will be much easier for me. Thanks.
Lisa,
Yes, go ahead.
I guess it's something that I've done along the way, but for stiff inflamed joints, you know, they're little, whether toe or finger, sending, sometimes I hold it, both sides.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So surround the area.
And send in blue light, moonlight, cooling.
Yeah, nice, nice. That sounds lovely. Yeah. So when you're working on somebody, it doesn't have to be a flat palm. You could curl your fingers around the area. All that needs to happen is you have to be able to pay attention. Okay. Whatever helps you pay attention the best, you could do. Okay. Yeah. And so using color like that, intuition, you can test those things out and see if you get the results that you want. That's how you learn to really kind of expand your awareness. Yeah, thanks, Carol. Nice.
Lisa, could I ask a question?
Yes, please, Carla, go
I
ahead.
wonder if I could work on my cat as a practice, and is there anything special? I mean, is it the same whole thing? Down
Same.
the body, out the feet, same
Yeah,
thing?
you can go out the tail, you can go out the paws. Yeah,
Okay, awesome. Thank
all
you.
the same. Yeah, good. They will let you work on them until they're done. Okay. And if they're done, they walk away. All right. They walk away. They will let you know. Okay. Yeah. Good. So I'm going to have us do the closings. Okay. So if you're in the middle of sending, just wrap that up. And then we're going to do the closing after you've been doing healing on yourself or someone else over 5 minutes. The person who's receiving their chi field has gotten big and you need to kind of put it back inside. Your own field gets big when you're performing healing and you need to kind of put it back inside. So there's a closing we do on the partner. If you have a partner, you do the closing on the partner first, and then you do the closing on yourself. Okay. So the closing on the partner is you direct your hands towards your partners below the belly button. So your hands are above the body. All right. If the person you're working on is female, okay, I think on the screen. I'm going to show you on Anne, okay? So I direct my hand towards her dantian, and since she's female, I circle left counterclockwise. So think lefty loosey, okay? And you can do two hands, and I spiral counterclockwise, and I'm sending a little chi in, but I'm mostly kind of spiraling her chi field in to pull her chi back to her dantian. And then I imagine making a cocoon around her whole body, head to toe. Cocoon, okay, around her whole body. And now then she's done, then it's my turn to do my own closing, which is the same closing you do on yourself if you've done self-healing. So if you want to try the partner closing, you can do that, you can do it. So if your partner is female, it's counterclockwise. If your partner is male, it's clockwise, okay? Down on the right, up on the left. If it's a male, it's counterclockwise. So that, and you're thinking down low, below the belly button, not up high where the organs are, okay? Lefty loosey.
Okay.
Lefty loosey, okay?
Is it the same on a cat?
Yes,
Okay. A male cat, go to the right and think of
yes,
think of the low belly of the cat.
yes, the low belly, below the belly button, because we don't want to activate the liver, okay? We don't, and the liver's above the belly button. We don't want to wake it up because it's like a grouchy, kid when you wake them up. We want it nice and quiet at the end of a session. We keep it low. Lefty loosey, that's the partner, okay? And then the cocoon around the partner, right? And then once your partner is done, then we can do our own closing, which, because you both people worked on both people, you'll do, you'll both do your own closing. So the own closing is after you close your partner with the spiral and the cocoon, then you bring your chi back to your dantian until your hands cool off. So you're kind of grabbing your own chi field. So we're all just going to try it, because if you've worked on a partner, you need to bring your chi field in. You bring your chi field in, cocoon. The cocoon is not the same thing on yourself. You're pulling it in. You can feel your chi field come and your hands cool down. If your hands are still hot and buzzing, your chi field is still too big. You want your hands to cool off, feel neutral, empty, okay? And then once your hands feel empty, your last thing is, if you've worked on, after that bringing in, we're going to condense the chi. So after the pulling in, palms on the belly, and we're going to condense the chi. Inhale, imagine your energy coming down to that same spot, and then exhale, pack it into a small ball. You're kind of like making a snowball, packing it in 3 times. Inhale, pull your chi into the belly. Exhale, condense it to a small ball. Inhale into the belly. Exhale, condense it to a small ball. And if you'd only been working on yourself, that's the end. If you were working on a partner, after you do that, between the space between you and your partner, you think separate. Like you're cutting cords, okay? You just think separate. If you've worked on a partner, it's just good to be nice and clear at the end. Done, okay? That meal is done. If you catch yourself later thinking about your partner, like, oh, I wonder how Mary's doing. I hope she feels better. You might inadvertently be sending them energy. If we are concerned about somebody, we're not doing it with nature energy coming into them, it's going to be your energy. So if you've worked with somebody one-on-one, you make you're involved now. You want to make sure you have a decisive separation, but if you think about them later, you say, pull your chi in, you catch yourself, pull your chi in, separate, and then if you want to, you can just plug a little beam of sunshine right to your friend from the universe and walk away. Okay, you can just do that. It's important for us, the more you learn about healing, the more you have to have good boundaries with it, and like purposefully start sessions using all of your awareness, purposefully end sessions using all your awareness, all the safety stuff. No half-assed healing sessions anymore. Okay, and I'm going to explain that a little more. Once you get practice sending energy, it's like the voltage goes up, the amps go up. So you have to really be paying attention. Like before, maybe your whole life you've been like sending prayers to, people need help, sending angels, sending white light. Maybe you've done that, okay, your whole life. Now you learn how to really plug in the voltage. You got to really like look where you're going. If you want to do distance healing, you want to send help to somebody, you look at them mentally wherever they are, you focus on them, you say, what's my intent? What do I want to do? You do it, you finish, you're done. You can't just kind of throw like a bomb at them. If you kind of just done it your whole life, just sending white light, it's a little different when you practice because you're sending a lot of voltage. The more you practice healing work, the stronger your ability to move chi, which is great. You don't want to have to take all day to do a healing session. It's great, but it means you can't just throw a wad of fire at somebody. You're just like, what do I want to do? What do I think is going on? What do I see? You can scan from a distance. You can comb from a distance. You can send in, when's it done? I'm done. Seal them up, bring my chi in, separate. Do it, the whole thing, do it for real. If you only have a minute, you can just say, I'm just going to send a little or comb a little. You don't have to do a full-blown session, but don't do it with only part of your attention anymore, okay? Like when you carry a knife in your kitchen, you have a little more attention when you're crossing the kitchen, right? It's serious. Pay attention. Pay attention when you're doing it, okay? And if you catch yourself thinking about somebody later, do your closing, bring your chi in, separate again, and then with your full faculties, decide if you want to do something about it. Not part way, not with half your attention. At the end of a healing session, we want to feel peaceful, not overly tired, comfortable, relaxed, the half beer buzz kind of feeling. Okay, the half beer buzz. Like you're looking at a fire crackling, you feel peaceful. Not like, oh, I gotta lie down, I'm wiped out. But just like, I'm just so comfortable. That's the feeling you want to have. Okay, it's just comfy. So when people receive healing, they get up, they're like, oh, I feel sleepy. Say, oh yeah, it's comfortable, nice. That's good. Good. Any questions? Yes, Lori.
You have to ask the person's permission.
So I like this question. You have to ask the person's permission to do a healing on them. What I like to say is, if you ask their permission, would they say yes? Then it's okay. If they would say no, if you know they're going to say no, then no, it is not okay. So let's say you have a dear old friend, she doesn't know anything about healing, but if you said, I learned something, can I do it, on you? They say, oh yeah, thanks. Then great, right? If it's somebody you know who's like, don't come at me with one more thing, stop trying to control me, then don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it if it's going to thwart somebody. Do it if you know they would say yes. All right? And you could think in your head, like maybe you're on Facebook and you see a friend, like, people on Facebook say it all the time. Send prayer, send healing, they say it all the time. You say, do you need to ask that person? No, you don't need to ask that person. You just can do it. because you know they want it. If it's your friend, you know they want it, go ahead. If it's your friend and you know they don't want it, do not do it. Okay, and if you're not sure, then maybe you should ask them. If you're not sure, because if you're 100% sure they would say yes, then you already know. If you're not 100% sure, then maybe they won't say no. They won't say yes, okay? Yeah. What we don't want to do is force stuff on somebody who doesn't want it, okay? Because it's not for us to choose. And we don't want to feel responsible for every person who's suffering, right? So you learn how to help people. You think, oh my gosh, now everybody who's sad or hurt, I got to help everybody. You say, no, you don't. You don't. Because there's power in that person looking for help from people, going around trying to find some help. There's power in that. At the very beginning of tonight, I talked about interventions and lifestyle. Okay. Interventions 70%, sorry, lifestyle 70%, interventions 30, okay? You cannot change somebody's life with healing work. You cannot change, I mean, I shouldn't say you can't change somebody's life. You never know when you're going to change somebody's life. But their health picture is pretty tough to change with interventions. Hands-on healing is an intervention. It's pretty tough to change. It has happened occasionally, but it's only because their lifestyle was heading them that way, whether you knew it or not. Their lifestyle was all on board, full speed ahead, and you just gave them that final little 30% shove, okay? So if you think you need to be doing healing on everybody, you're not taking into account that person's lifestyle has to get in line, okay? Has to get in line. And sometimes, and I'm including myself, we need to feel a little pain before we make our lifestyle get in line, right? How many times do you start eating, people start eating better when their tummy had trouble? That's when you start eating better. Very, very few people start eating better before their stomach gets in trouble. Very few people, okay? How many people start stretching after they start having aches and pains? Most people. Very few people stretch when they don't have aches and pains. Everyone should stretch. So we have to honor person getting their lifestyle in line. Okay, good. Any other questions about anything?
Yeah, I just had a comment.
Yeah.
I was really hoping to feel more about some of the organs, you know, especially after reviewing the materials you sent.
Yes.
But then it was all about some of my physical things.
Yes. Yes.
So I guess obviously that needed to be addressed first, or do you have any insight?
Yeah. So our first two classes usually are about learning the scanning, the combing, the sending. Okay. I talk a little bit about just a few organs. Once we get those techniques down, then each class is going to focus on one organ system at a time, and we really like learn that system, how to pay attention to it. Our health problems often have an organ system underpinning it. Okay, often there's an organ system, not always, not always. Wherever we scan and we feel something, we have to clear that out. By asking the Chinese medicine questions, the ones that are in the manual, then we know our baseline that needs support. Most people have 2 or 3 organs out of balance. So in a healing session, you always address the stuff you feel first, okay? And then you say, I know from the information I exchanged, I know they need help with their lungs, and you do the meridian points for their lungs, or bless you, or their large intestine, or their kidneys. So we treat the organs that the person needs help with, as well as organs that you may have found a problem. So for you, in particular, Melissa, your problems today for this session may not have been very organ-based. It could have been in an area, a regional problem, but there may be organ systems that need your help, and you would learn that by asking the Chinese medicine questions. If a problem is not too severe or not too old, you may not feel it with a scan on the organ. The symptoms can show up before the organ feels super clogged up. By the time you feel the organ's in trouble, the problem has been there for a lot longer. Okay, it's for a lot longer. So, Melissa, if you were thinking, I want to, see what's going on in my organs, they all feel good. Say, yay. That means the organs are healthy. If from the Chinese medicine questions, you know you need to work on some, then in future healing sessions, you just send a little Qi into those organs. If you've read ahead and you know which organs and you know where the points are, you can jump ahead. We will be getting to those each class, learning some and the points. But if you have read the questionnaire, you can kind of jump ahead. The same principle, send in till it's full, stop. Okay, to really make a change in a person's life, we have to address local Qi blockages, wherever you find them, and the baseline organ systems during a healing session. And then the follow-up would be the Qigong exercises to help what you found in the healing session or from the interview process. That's like a complete package. The healing, taking care of it, and their homework to work on changing the Qi flow. That's the lifestyle changes. Great. All right, so we got really far tonight. Well done, everybody. We learned most of the basic healers techniques for the whole course. We're going to be practicing all of this again next time and getting a little more detailed about what you're feeling, seeing what's going on with the flow, trying to increase our awareness so that we can then jump into the organ system stuff. We probably won't get to organs next week, probably the week after we'll start with organs. In the manual, there's the Chinese medicine questionnaire. If you haven't looked at it, please do. It will really help you to kind of get more of a sense what's going on inside, okay? Great, thank you all. Thank you. If you get questions when you're watching the recordings or during the week, just let me know, okay? Just let me know. Thank you so much. Great to see you, Suzanne. Haven't seen your face in a while. Hi, Bay, good to see you. Carla, take care, Judy. Nice to have you here, Sharon. Carol, Joyce, thanks for coming. Denise, thank you.